Yeah, fits
But,
her.
So just tell us a little bit about how'd you get involved in Titan? How'd you get a hold of promotion?
You know, I was finishing up with my grad school and a long-time boxer, a long-time fan of boxing, and went to a show and didn't like how it was because I had been to shows all over the world watching boxing, and decided, you know, that I'd start promoted my first show. My second show was on Showtime, actually. I did a Showbox show, my second show. I was 24 years old, youngest person to ever do that. And then later that year, I did an ESPN Friday Night Fight show. And it just kind of spawned from there, and I realized, you know, being younger, it's going to be really difficult to you know, make a real impact in the boxing business. Because at that time, boxing was still pretty popular, and you were going to run into, you know, having to spend a lot of money to even get a B-level star to carry your promotion. MMA was just coming back around. Zuffa had just purchased UFC. It was getting real exciting. They were, you know, back on pay-per-view doing the Friday night shows, the original shows with Tito and Frank Shamrock and all that. So got into that, waited until MMA was legal, and it became legal in, I think, 2005 in Kansas, because it was, you could only do amateur, and I wasn't going to do amateur fights. So started doing it and rolled with it ever since.
So you kind of been promoting your whole life?
Yeah. Did about 12 shows with Titan, and then went and got the vice president job of M1 Global, and then did that for a year and a half.
Seriously?
Went and ran operations, the executive director of operations for Bellator, and ran that for last season and this season as well. So doing that, and then, you know, been working with my guys at HDNet, and got the TV deal, and here we are.
Yeah, very good. And for Kansas City, what an opportunity for Kansas City. Have you grown up here? Did you live here your whole life?
I grew up here in Liberty, Missouri, so, you know, I'm Kansas City born and raised. Went to school so it was, you know, there's not a lot of great shows that come here. I noticed that when I first started. When I brought Showtime, and I brought ESPN, and then later when I brought the M1 Global shows and Strikeforce and all that stuff, and was a part of the team that brought the Bellator shows here, there just wasn't a lot of TV shows here. And the cool thing about what we're doing with our HDNet deal is we're having, you know, it's not a lot of the shows that we got. We get a Strikeforce or a Bellator with prospects, you know, the young newcomers, people that one day could be the big stars. But now we have a show with our HDNet shows. We've had Tim Sylvia, Drew McFredries, Rich Clementi, Phil Baroni, you know, Bobby Lashley. I mean, all these great guys. Those are big level stars that have all headlined and been on the main card of the big shows. So really exciting to see those guys, and especially you know, here in Kansas City.
Sure. And as far as the Titan promotion, recently, obviously, with the purchase of Zuffa and Strikeforce and that all, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I think it's awesome. It's great for Scott Coker. I think he is one of the best promoters, real old-time promoters in the business. Great for him. I mean, I heard he did really well with the purchase. That's awesome for him. And you know, and I'm sure he'll have a role. You know, I don't know how long or what, but I mean, it's hard to deny his skills in this business. So it'll be great. And it opens up a lot of doors for all of us. You know, other promotions. I mean, the UFC now will not be able to carry every fighter. So I mean, as much as Dana White says he's going to need more fighters and things like that, you know, they can't do a show every weekend. Maybe they could, but you know, it's you know, it'll open the doors for a lot of us to have the Phil Baronis, Bobby Lashley's, Rico Rodriguez, all those guys, Tim Sylvia, Drew McFedries fighting on our cards. So
yeah, and actually, we were just talking on the way over. Scott Coker mentioned Titan in a recent interview, saying that it's a great opportunity for Titan to come in and kind of fill the void. Not necessarily the void of Strikeforce, but add some star power to you guys. Do you think obviously pulling with Bobby Lashley, guys like Phil Baroni, you expect this to keep going? You expect
yeah, most definitely. You know, we have a long-term deal with HDNet, so we're really excited about that. We continue to put on shows. You know, progress to do multiple shows a year, so as we continue to grow. And you know, Scott and I are very similar in the promotion aspect. You know, full-time promoter type guys, and really appreciate what Scott says. Like I said, he's the best in the business, so it'll be really cool. I think it's great.
And with the big acquisitions, is there anybody you've got your eye on? Anybody you're looking at thinking, you know, on the free agent market?
We like the guys we have now. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that'll come available. I mean, I know from Kansas City, really excited about Rob Kimmons coming back available, so we've been in talks with Rob. I used to manage Rob, and Rob started out fighting for me, so it's a logical progression. You know, we have LC Davis, fortunately had a knee injury, so he couldn't fight on the last card, but you know, we got a lot of great Kansas City guys, a lot of people to to look out for. So there's always guys like Phil and those guys that will always be out there on their rise.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about tomorrow. What's your fight of the night? Pick a fight of the night.
I think fight of the night's probably the Alonzo Martinez Aaron Darrow fight. Aaron's awesome. I mean, he's great skill. Like that Rich Clementi fight, took a hellacious beating, but then came back and pulled off the triangle out of nowhere, set it up perfectly, slipped it right in, and it was really good. It just he's a real, I would consider him one of the best, if not the best, jiu-jitsu fighters in this area. I mean, that's his background, that's his game. He's got good hands, ever improving hands, but he's a really highly skilled jiu-jitsu guy. And gives a lot of credibility to the guys here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Pulling off the
So give us your pick on the main event. What, Bobby Lashley?
I think John. I think it's one of those things. And Bobby is one of those otherworldly athletes. Has all the attributes and skills, and it'd just be exciting to see him live and in action. I mean, I think he's a great fighter, and to have John Ott's not a slouch. He has a great amateur pedigree. He was an All-American wrestler, so it's a really good fight, really good test for Bobby to get his feet wet. It's kind of a redemption type deal. After his last fight, everyone wants to see what Bobby has and what he has left, and I know he has a lot. He's a spectacular athlete, so it'll be a great show.
Well, good luck, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you so much.
Promotion, and look forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah.